There exists a dimension that we all have access to at any given moment. Within this dimension, we will find joy, satisfaction, and inner harmony. Though this dimension is free and available to all of us, many of us will rarely engage with it. This is what I call the dimension of being. Being alive is actually quite a satisfactory sensation in itself. But when we aren't tapped into the dimension of being, life can seem full of pain and suffering. There's a simple reason for this. Our mind can make us miserable if we don't learn how to use it properly. The first time I realized this, I was 18 years old. I was a freshman in college, going to school at San Diego State University. Through most of my teens, I was riddled with anxiety. I was reserved and quite shy, always being tormented by negative thoughts running through my mind. My mind would feed me thoughts about the worst case scenarios, fears, and worries. What do other people think of me? Do they think I'm weird? If I don't do something in alignment with what's considered acceptable, will I look like an idiot? If I stand out too much, will I be cast out by my peers and loved ones? It is difficult to enjoy life when you are constantly absorbed by these low-level thoughts running through your mind. The mind makes a good servant, but a terrible master. So what happened when I was 18? I guess I had enough of this miserable existence. And being fed up, I was shown a different way of being, one where I could actually enjoy being alive rather than being tormented in every moment. I was recommended a video on YouTube that featured the teachings of Eckhart Tolle. Thank you, YouTube algorithm. In that video, Eckhart Tolle described that we as human beings exist on two dimensions. A dimension of form that includes our thoughts and the physical world, and a formless dimension of being and awareness. He explained that it is possible for us as human beings to exist and be aware of being without always having to be absorbed by our thoughts. That we can enter the present moment and simply be okay with what is taking place in the here and now while being in touch with this dimension of being. He went on to describe that this dimension of being was what many of the spiritual teachers before us, such as the Buddha, Jesus, and Lao Tzu, were trying to get us to reconnect with. When we are consciously connected to the dimension of being, we feel more alive, at peace, full, and satisfied with life. That video changed my life. From that day forward, I started giving more attention and awareness to the present moment and this dimension of being, giving less weight to the thoughts that I had about the past or my worries about the future. I learned that my mind is actually a tool that can be used to serve me. I could use my mind to plan out the future as I'd like it to be. There was time for thinking about things, but most of my life could be devoted to being present and enjoying the sensation of being alive right here and right now. From that point forward, everything in my life radically transformed. I became more social and made a lot of friends. I excelled in all my classes and received straight A marks that semester. I became honed in on my training routine at the gym and ate the proper amount of food that my body required, radically transforming my physical appearance. In general, life just became more enjoyable. Even the moments I would have otherwise deemed mundane or boring before this shift in my consciousness. Walks on campus became beautiful and filled with serenity. The act of eating became an incredible experience. I felt like for the first time I was actually tasting and enjoying my food instead of just scarfing it down while thinking about what I had to do next. Even conversations with people became so ripe and enjoyable, almost as though every conversation was its own piece of art that we were both creating in a moment of time. I felt like I mastered my concentration and focus, fully engaging and giving my full attention to a single task at a time, thereby greatly improving the quality of my work and productivity. Was that it? All these spiritual teachers were talking about this? Just be, enjoy the dimension of being, and use your mind to serve you instead of allowing your mind to be your master? Did I really just crack the code of life at the age of 18? Well, it turns out there were a few more things that I'd have to learn. I later learned about conscious manifestation, This is the process of impressing your subconscious mind with what you would like to magnify and objectify in your physical reality. One of the first things I consciously manifested was living in a foreign country. This was something that I always wanted to do, so I decided that I would impress my subconscious mind with the idea of studying abroad in New Zealand. Before bed one night, I imagined myself standing in New Zealand looking at one of the natural wonders there, Milford Sound, after having studied a picture of Milford Sound on the internet. I fell asleep with that image in my mind, feeling like I was actually there. About 10 months later, I found myself standing in the exact spot that I had visualized in my mind after having spent 5 months studying abroad in New Zealand for the duration of my fall semester of my senior year. That was a pivotal event that proved to me that I can consciously manifest my life, but again, there were some more subtle nuances that I'd have to learn in order to refine the skill of conscious manifestation. It has taken me time to really understand all the factors that come into play when it comes to creating my own destiny. I realized that the struggle of life takes place in our minds and nowhere else. For example, after graduating college, I decided that I wanted to make money. I had done an exercise where I counted $4,000 in cash in my mind before going to bed, as this was the monthly income I wanted to receive. I wasn't clear or specific about how I wanted to receive the money or what kind of work I'd do to receive the money, so the money came to me through a job offer as a junior accountant for a company that my mom's friend had co-founded. But the thing was, I wasn't so fond of accounting. At that time, the thing I loved to do more than anything else was writing music, recording it, and performing that music live for people to enjoy. But I had developed and accumulated so many negative and limiting beliefs from peers, family, and the general media about making it in the music industry. So I had long abandoned that dream and idea of pursuing a career as a musician. My mom would often say, "It's fine if you want to play music, but you should do it as a hobby. Use your accounting degree and get a real career, then play your music on the weekends." So that's what I accepted, and that's what I did. But I wasn't happy. Spending 50 hours a week doing something I didn't really enjoy, and only spending a few hours a week after being mentally drained from my job playing music. Even though I had this knowledge that the dimension of being and being able to tap into this dimension is where the true gift of life resides, I was still unconscious that my life and actions were being dictated by limiting and negative beliefs that I had accepted. It took me years to realize that I must be very careful of what thoughts and ideas I allow to enter my mind from the outside world, as those thoughts and ideas would easily be impressed into my subconscious mind and objectified into my physical experience of life. I slowly began to realize that everything is impressing my subconscious mind. I realized that doom scrolling on social media could be very damaging and toxic as far as what I allowed into my subconscious mind. I realized that engaging in rhetoric regarding the downfall of society, current events, corrupt politicians was doing nothing to improve my life and objectify desirable experiences for myself. After realizing this, I went to work on changing my mental diet. I cut out the mainstream media from my mental diet. And yes, people began to question my decision. After doing this, my father found it odd that I had no idea what was going on with current events of the world. But if he had decided to watch the nightly news, I would often get up and go to another room because I didn't want to give that information a chance to impress my subconscious mind. When people began to speak about their limiting beliefs and when they tried to impose their beliefs onto me, I would often reject what they were saying and change the subject. And if they wouldn't want to change the subject, I would just remove myself from that interaction. Your mental diet is the most important thing to look after. The information you allow to enter and impress your subconscious mind is exactly what will determine what objectifies into your experience of life. Become the curator of your mental diet. One practice that you can start implementing into your life is to turn off all your electronic gadgets before bed. I even charge my phone outside of my bedroom. Take 30 minutes before bed to visualize the things that you desire in life. Invest in a journal and decide what it is that you want to do, be, and have. Here's Rev Ike's process for making decisions about what you want. Step number 1, identify exactly what it is you want. Number 2, decide that you will get it. 3, have faith that it will come to you. And 4, don't worry about how it will come to you. Or you can follow Neville Goddard's model. Step 1, decide exactly what you want in life. 2, create an image or end scene that implies the fulfillment of your desire. 3, visualize yourself experiencing that end scene. 4, capture the feeling of your desire being fulfilled, then go to sleep. You will find that the power of this practice compounds night after night. You'll soon become more clear on what it is that you want in life. You will direct your subconscious mind to focus on getting what you desire, and you will find that slowly and steadily the things that you focus on before bed begin to objectify in your physical experience. And you will one day open your eyes and find yourself living in the reality that you wrote about and visualized before bed. In conclusion, your mind is your servant. Be careful what commands you give it, because it is a very powerful servant. It will go to the ends of the earth and the edges of the universe to figure out how to get what you command it to get. Look after your mental diet. Cut out everything that is what you don't want. Cut out the mainstream news. Cut out mindless doom scrolling on social media. Stop engaging in rhetoric with people about the downfall of society or topics about sickness, corruption, poverty, and anything that you don't desire. Get good at changing the subject and commanding conversations by asking questions. If you're with someone that is so negative that you see that all they want to speak about is negativity and complaints, excuse yourself from them and tell them that there is a matter that you must attend to, that matter being the wellness of your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is always listening. Include in your mental diet books that discuss high value ideals and things that you desire in life: more health, more money, better relationships, more happiness. Find mentors online that discuss high value ideals, like yours truly, on how you can achieve greater degrees of happiness, financial prosperity, success at your craft, more intimate relationships, and greater physical health and well-being. Take action by reserving, at the bare minimum, the last half hour of your day to write about and visualize your desires, declaring and seeing yourself having what you want. Do all this, and that, my friends, is how you radically transform your life. Thank you for tuning into this video. If you like this content, please give it a like, share it with someone who may be able to benefit from hearing this message, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the bell notification for updates when I release new content. If you are trying to manifest something specifically in your life and you're having trouble doing it and getting into the right state of being, please feel free to reach out to me and work with me. My email address is in the description below. Thank you again, and I'll see you guys in the next video.